angry about is nobody called the police. That is unacceptable, to not call the police when you view this. Traffic was horrendous. People saw this. They were fighting in front of traffic. Why?
Listen, woman, listen. Not everyone wants to be, Captain Save-A-Ho. Not everybody wants to get involved in a conflict. Most people don't want to get involved. Most people don't want involvement. I'm going to be honest, I see somebody getting mugged, I'm turning the other cheek. I don't want to get killed, right? I don't want to get involved. I don't want to be put in front of a court hearing and have to testify. That's work. That is work. And that is not good. That is not good for me. That is not good for, relatives or people in your vicinity. It just becomes a hassle for them. Maybe you should have the police work in such a way that reporters never have to testify in court. Of course, I get why they testify in court, but why they're expected to testify a lot of the time. But you're essentially putting an obligation on this person to have extreme investment in this long term. Most people want to live their lives, go home to their kids or their grandma or their mom or their brothers, and live their life. Go home from their job, maybe have a McDonald's. Maybe come home, make a pizza, or, make some chicken or some soup or something. They want to live their life normal and, have the life they live every day and kind of stay on that routine. People don't want to derail their life because they called the police once or because there's a guy in the middle of the street and they should step in and lose their life as well. Like, you gotta understand it from the other people's perspective, lady. Not everybody wants to have involvement in this. If you want to have people call the police, have anonymous centers where people can report, or have an anonymous call where people can report without consequence of them having to have investment in this. Because some people might want to have investment and be a nice citizen and, testify in court and whatnot. But not everyone wants to have involvement with some crazy street fight with a bunch of hobos. I'm sorry, not everyone wants to have involvement with that. If this lady has a husband or kids or, grandparents or sisters or uncles or whatever, you don't want to derail your family life or derail whatever friends you have because you now have an obligation to appear in court or to testify for this random hobo fight in the street. Again, you don't really care about that because you're not the one having to derail your life over this.